Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers from around the world. I'm Fiona Lang Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Welcome to everybody joining us here today. I'm excited once again to be introducing a friend and colleague, Gretchen Becker Crabb, who is going to be here with us live once again at our symposium here. And I'm so delighted that you're going to be joining us for our Early Years Symposium 2022, which is going to be live, Gretchen, on September 26th and 27th. And you're actually going to be speaking on both days, which of course
Yes.
is exciting. And I know that you'll be joining in the conversation with the other speakers as well. But today we're going to talk about the presentation titled Infant Mental Health. What does it look like in practice? And I have to say, Gretchen, this is definitely one of the areas that is so important to me. I'm always hungry to know more because I think it's just, there's endless amounts of information today. We know so much more now than we did, say, a few years ago when we started practice, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's definitely one of those, it's a field where everybody can benefit from it. If you're working with any children at any age, this is the information and the research and the knowledge that's coming out of the field of infant mental health is and early childhood is can be just really profound.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
All right. Well, I want to reintroduce you again. As you
Mm,
heard me allude to, Gretchen has actually been with us here before at Gold Learning. So we're so excited and
yeah.
delighted to have you back. I know
So glad
that
to be back.
being an occupational therapist and a counselor and all the other things I'll let you tell folks a little bit about in a moment, but it really does lend to some of the things that we want to grow here at Gold Learning, particularly at our early years symposium, which is so valuable. We already talked about, I was talking with another one of our guest speakers today already and saying, even the early years are just so valuable for us to learn as healthcare professionals. I mean,
Yes.
it lends to every area that you're working in. So if you are, in families' lives at any stage, it's going to be really so valuable for you to come and learn and engage with us. So come and share
Yes.
all the things and experiences that you have too. We're going to be excited to see you. Let me just tell you that if you want to head over there right now to our website at goldlearning.com, you can check in on some of the early bird specials that are still in place, which is really exciting as well. Right, let's get into it, Gretchen. I'm excited. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you.
But tell me, I want to know what it looked like for you. I feel like everyone I talk to has a bit of an epiphany when they start talking about infant mental health. Tell me
Mhm.
what your journey was like when you first were exposed to this world of infant mental health.
Yeah.
What was going across your mind? Where were you, and how did you decide that you really wanted to learn more about it?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I became an occupational therapist over 20 years ago, and I became an OT in part because I was sitting in a college class and it was just like intro to occupational therapy, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this, and it was rehab and how to help people with,
Right.
after hand injuries. And then one day a pediatric OT walked in with balls and swings and things like that, and I was like, oh, this is it. So I've always been interested in pediatrics and really dedicated my practice as an occupational therapist from day one pretty much to working with children and families. So I worked in birth to three, worked in Head Start and early Head Start as a
Mhm.
consultant, and also saw families in private practice as well and working in lactation. And then it was about 2012 I found out about there's a program here in Madison that specializes in infant and early childhood mental health. And what I was noticing is in my practice I would see all these children who would get referred for difficulties in motor skills or challenges in feeding. And as I would get to know the families, all of a sudden the onion would start to peel, and I would find out, oh my goodness, this family has a significant history of trauma or medical challenges or mental health differences, and I didn't know what to do with these families.
Mm.
And so I did a capstone program in infant mental health, which led to me becoming a counselor, which led to me being here today.
Oh.
So that was really my journey and how I found infant mental health.
Oh, well, it's wonderful. And I know you and I have talked, about these aspects and really, the root elements here, though, is that a lot of this information transcends again
Mm,
across all ages and stages, our own personal thoughts and some of the
yes.
things that we can reflect to as professionals, as just as humans, right? I mean,
Mm,
we're talking a lot about these things today, and I think I think this is just such the right time again to
yes.
be really talking about these things and learning. And I want to challenge people because I feel like someone challenged me when I first was exposed to infant mental health,
Hmm.
and I was like, what? That's a thing. Now I mean, I had been in practice for a very long time. I remember when I was in college too, and some of these things were touched on, but they were never really developed out. It was very basic.
Uh-huh.
The needs of children were very simplified in those years. And I got to work with some very special, children that had higher needs, but really, we haven't really seen the development happen until now. And of course, we're starting to see it really flourish in so many areas that
Yes.
almost needs to be mandated. Everyone should be taking a
Yes.
course in infant mental health, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, so I,
Absolutely.
so okay. So now
Yeah.
Gretchen and I agree on it, right?
Yes. You should definitely
we
join us. Yes.
That's right. You should definitely come and join us for
Mhm.
this really important conversation. Yeah, if you really had any thoughts or ideas, I think in this area, this is going to be the time and the opportunity to come together and really flush some of these things out. And I know that you're going to take us on a bit of a journey. In this presentation, we'll have an opportunity to do some reflection, but also really work together as peers, which is always my go-to. I love hearing other folks' ideas and the way that they view things, because that's really what infant mental health amounts to, is that there are so many different ways to think about it, and we need to be dynamic, really, as practitioners.
Absolutely. Well, really the premise of infant mental health is of course the infant is at the center of everything, but an infant is part of a family. And coming as a provider, we come in with our own ideas and biases and thoughts and strengths. But we're also supported by agencies and communities, right? And so it transcends multiple levels. And so no matter where you are kind of working or where you are in systems, understanding these core concepts of infant mental health, and really, what we're going to do in the presentation is really experience it, right? Like we'll
Mhm.
go over some of the basic concepts, but really work it in and experience it so that when you are with families, you can take some of these really practical strategies and continue to grow your practice.
Oh yeah. And of course, having a little bit of an inside scoop already and seeing, your presentation, we've been talking about some of the dynamics. I want to say again, Gretchen, you're such a gifted teacher and educator as well. I love coming to learn with you because you do look at all the different styles of learning, which is really, when you're online, this is what we want today.
Mhm.
We're sort of hungry for something that really is thought provoking and engaging, where we feel like we're sort of in a classroom, even though we're online. But that's how you make us feel. So really appreciate those elements too, because I believe you're going to be showing some videos too,
Mhm.
as part of this presentation.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So there'll be videos and different opportunities again for us to reflect together and learn together, which is part of the thing. I think I'm also looking most forward to is just hearing views from people from all over the world. And what
Ah,
better way do we
yes.
learn than to really is to learn from each other and go and lean into things that might feel a little uncomfortable or a little bit different, and from what we know or we're used to. And oh yeah, just how exciting that could be for all of us to learn from each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Yeah. And of course, yeah, it's so wonderful to be here at Gold Learning, being in an international
Yes.
conference based, education. It's just great to have so many of those opinions. And I love what you said about, sometimes things can be a little bit uncomfortable, but just our differences, as you mentioned, are really what gets us to be creative,
Yes.
and I think that we are hungry, in the field of, perinatal health, we're always looking for really good ways, healthy ways, but also creative ways to work with our families.
Right.
And in order to, provide them the tools that they really need. And of course, the referrals that they often need, right? We want to be able to
Yes.
find the folks in our community. And I think this is where we can work together and collaborate well on those things too.
Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
wonderful. So wonderful. Well, thank you so much again
Thank you.
for joining me here today. Let's just go over some of the details. So, Gretchen Becker Crabb will be here with us once again, talking about infant mental health. What does it look like in practice? Going to be here live for both days, September 26, 27, depending on where you are in the world. Head to the website right now at goldlearning.com. And once you log in, it will reflect the current time zone for all the presentations. We hope that you can join us live, of course. Gretchen will be here for a live Q&A. You can always post in the forum if you have questions for Gretchen and any of our other speakers. We'd love to be able to get those to our presenters. It's one of the unique ways that we continue to engage with our speakers offline as well. So if you can't hit the time zone or you happen to be busy that day, of course, you'll still be able to take in all the elements that we have here at Gold Learning. So lots of opportunity to really expand our learning together as a collaborative village, which I just love. So thank you once again, Gretchen. It's been lovely having you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to all of you for listening and tuning in once again. We'll look forward to seeing you online very soon. But for now, have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Bye bye for now, everyone.